So first of all, let me talk about a relationship, okay? This is a person that you either have children with, that you've had a very turbulent relationship with, okay? It was very passionate, very exciting, and um, I feel like you might have at one point lived with this person. So this is a Scorpio, a Pisces, or a Cancer, sun, moon, or rising. And this is somebody that you are sharing space with or are living with, okay? This person is going to figure prominently in the picture. And I feel for some of you, you might have children with this person. And there are some issues regarding child rearing practices, regarding parenting techniques. And you might not be seeing eye to eye when it comes to proper disciplinary measures, when it comes to how do we teach our children. There might not be like agreement between you and the other person as to what's the proper way to, be a parent, or how to properly be co-parents with one another. For some of you, this might not be someone who's in your life anymore. They might have been out of the picture, but I feel like the parenting energies are figuring very prominently in this situation. And I just want to say this. I feel like some of you do not want to interact with this person. You don't want to interact with them. It's like it might have been a bad relationship that ended, but you have children together. You might have assets together. You might need to discuss some financial arrangements with one another. You don't want to deal with this person. You prefer to keep them kind of like at a distance. You don't want them to enter your life or re-enter your life. You don't really want them to be around, okay? And so I feel like if the issues come up, they really want you to put your ego aside and to deal with this situation in based on higher wisdom. Okay, so that means if if there are problems concerning children, let your bygones be bygones with that person and approach them not as, oh, that my ex, or, whatever it is, but rather just approach it as, okay, we're both adults here. We need to just tackle the issue as it comes in. So I feel like some of you are dreading the communication with this person. And I feel like some of you are not responding. They might come in under the guise of, and I feel like for some of you, there are legitimate concerns about kids and, joint children, like joint custody and things like that. And then for others, I feel like, I feel like the other person is using that kind of like as leverage, and they really want to communicate with you about something, but they might be using the children to kind of leverage the relationship. And you don't want to interact. You're just like, I'm done with that phase or that chapter in my life. I don't want to interact with you. So you might let them go to email, or, you might let them go to your voicemail. You might not pick up the phone. If they text you, you might be communicating through the kids. So be very, very careful about how we handle these energies, okay? As an adult in the relationship, it's really, really important to be very clear when we communicate, and make sure that you're communicating with the person that the messages are meant for. So going through children, I don't feel like that's a good idea, okay? Does that make sense? So I feel like, this obviously is not going to apply to everybody, but I feel like if that's the situation, be very, very direct and be very, very clear. I do feel there are legitimate children issues coming up between you and the other person. And they're saying that you need to hear what the other person has to say. You need to hear what the other person has to say. So that means they're coming in the way their energy is. They're caring. Okay. They're very caring, and they want you to understand something. So I feel like you're going to be interacting with them, and you need to put aside your differences and listen to what they have to say. I feel like for some of you, this is somebody that you are seeing at a distance. Okay. So for others, you're still with this person. This is a, excuse me, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, sun, moon, or rising. And if it's like a long distance relationship, if it's somebody that you care about, you are starting to feel like, oh, we don't really have that much in common. You're starting to feel that. You're starting to feel like, who are you? I thought, I got you figured out, but we don't really have a lot of agreements with each other. and our goals in life are actually very different. So, is it worth still being in this relationship? Is it worth still exploring? So I feel like you're going through the motions of, doing some major reassessment when it comes to your relationship. The twos in the minor arcana, they basically indicate relationship, and this is a relationship where um, I feel like one person is in the picture and the other person's either at a distance, or the other person is just, not in agreement in terms of like how do we move the relationship, along. Okay, so I'm feeling that you have some major reassessment here. And, going back to that first message that I mentioned, are you happy? Are you seriously, can you honestly look at yourself and say, I'm content. I'm content with this relationship. I want it to work. I want it to go the whole 9 yards because this is absolutely somebody I love. Or do you have some reservations? And I feel like this is a very similar Aquarian energy that's coming through. Um, you like the other person, and I feel that, but I also sense that something's not enough here. Okay. Um, I'm also sensing for many of you, you're single. You've gotten out of a really very, very, I want to say like karmic and possibly tumultuous relationship. Okay. You've learned a lot from that relationship. It happened for a reason. You've learned a lot, and you are now moving on single and trying to, put yourself out there to start dating. And I feel like, yes, you want that intimacy, but at the same time, you're really afraid. I also feel this, energy here about I don't really know if I'm ready, making excuses not to put yourself out there. You've been burned in the past. I understand that, Sagittarius. And a lot of you are coming into this month single, looking for love, but it's almost like you're a little bit jaded and you just don't really believe in soulmates, in happily ever after anymore. And you're at this point a lot more cautious and careful about dating, but you're also in the spirit of self-preservation. Okay. So you're still closing yourself off, which I feel is fine. You're going to overcome this, but it just feels like the last relationship did a number on you. And I also feel like it was very difficult, and you're still trying to bounce back. You're still trying to bounce back, but relationship is really not on your main priority list right now. Just based on that past relationship left a very bitter taste in your mouth. Okay. I'm getting a very heavy Piscean energy that you're dealing with. So, the past relationship partner might have been a Pisces. There might have been a lot of issues surrounding that. Okay. So like, I'm seeing mental health issues. I'm seeing dependency issues. I'm seeing like perfect imbalance when it comes to give and take in the relationship. And I'm also seeing a lot of deception, just a lot of outright, straightforward, no holds barred type of deception associated with, that past relationship. So keep in mind the energy flows both ways. It could be coming from that person you were with. It could have been coming from you, but I feel for a lot of you, you're dealing with just somebody that was very, very, very deceitful. And moving away from that, I feel like it's still left a bitter taste in your mouth, and you're trying to recover, right? You're trying to recover. You're trying to, not put everybody in the same category as that person, but you're finding it hard to have faith in people again. Okay. I'm also sensing as well, when it comes to health matters, if you or somebody very close to you has been dealing with some type of like, this is like allergies, hay fever, and to the extreme sense, it can deal with like insomnia, anxiety, as well as depression. If you or somebody is dealing with that, somebody very close to you, even children and ex-partners, for example, there's going to be a major breakthrough when it comes to healing. Okay. So the spectrum is very broad. So it can be something minor, like, very extreme source of allergens, like a allergic reaction. sleeplessness, and then, on the opposite end, on the more extreme end, like emotional fluctuations and depression. I do feel um, there's going to be an alleviation of that. There's going to be some type of a major breakthrough. And if you yourself are seeking any type of therapy treatment as well, I feel like there's going to be some massive major breakthrough that's happening for you. For others of you, I just feel like there's this energy about you wanting to formulate, wanting to plan out your next step. Okay. Wanting to plan out, like, I have a lot of potential and I really want to just, get away. I want to settle somewhere else. I want to be somewhere else. I want to, get my career jump started. So I feel like you're looking at this, all the potential that you have, that you can bring to the table. And you feel like where you are right now, opportunities career wise might be limiting. And you also feel like you might need to branch out a little bit just to have some new energy and to have a little bit more fun and excitement in your life. And you're at a process where you're formulating the steps, but I feel like you're just keeping all your cards close to your chest. Okay? Because I feel what happened was there might have been plans that were talked about that, you formulated some plans in the past. And I would say like within the past 2 months. So we are in August. So June and July were heavily plan based types of month. And you were very excited, when you have new ideas, you get very, very excited. And I feel like you told other people, like, this is what I'm going to do. It's going to work out and it's going to be great. And I feel like reality started to settle in. And for whatever reason, those plans just kind of unravel. And so right now you're changing direction and you're just trying to figure out what's the next step. And you have multiple things that are in the works, but you're keeping everything very close to you because I'm sensing, and there's nothing wrong with this, I'm sensing that the plans in the past, you felt like you were too excited, you rushed into them, and you thought it was going to work out a certain way. So you told everybody, that's what I'm going to do. And when it fell apart, I feel like you blamed yourself. You might have been embarrassed that it didn't go the way that you anticipated. You might have withdrawn internally, and you might have felt, you're beating yourself up over it. So this time around, you're keeping very, very quiet. You're being very secretive about, your new plans. And I feel like for some of you, this is a major, major career move. This is a major, big move for you. And I also feel like for those of you working in a situation, there might be some, they're saying lazy people. So if you are supervising, for example, or managing other people, there are sneaky people who are not holding up their end of the bargain. Okay, they're like doing very, very minimal work just to get by. Their heart and their motivation level is very low. They're not invested in the work situation anymore, and so they do enough to get by. They might come in late, leave early. They might just sneak away, and I feel as if it's a collusion. It's like multiple people are kind of doing this, and so if you were to call, you are aware of this. You're very sharp and you're actually very smart. And you don't really tolerate it when people, say they're going to do something and they don't follow through. I feel like you have a very low tolerance for insincerity. You see all of this happening. You see all of it. But I feel like the battle itself, you're prepping to see, like, how am I going to confront this situation? Do I, consult somebody higher up? Do I document everything and then just expose all of these people at the same time? What do I do? And I feel like it's aggravating, right? Like if you're dealing with people who are like this and you're trying to, maintain your composure, you're not trying to throw anybody under the bus, but fair is fair. And so I feel like you have some sticky dilemma in the work front that you're contending with. And they're also telling you that maybe the better thing to do is to bring this to somebody else's attention. Okay? Don't hoard this information. Let it be known somehow, like, tell the higher ups, because it feels to me like you're a little bit stuck here. And if you expose this whole group, it might lead to a situation where the work environment can be a lot more tenuous, can become a little bit more, difficult for you. And so, consult a higher up, document it, and then consult a higher up, like, their supervisors or their managers, and see if there's a way for them to get reprimanded. Okay. So I just feel that is something that you're going to need to do. And I also feel like this is something that has been bothering you. And approaching this the right way is going to be very good, okay? So operating from a space where we don't know what to do, we don't know where to turn, and we feel like, oh no, we're kind of like stuck with this problem. You're not really stuck. And I feel like, you might want to be that champion for right and wrong. But in this situation, holding on to these things, I feel is not going to be good for you. So let the light shine on it. Let it come to the surface. Let other people, the people who are in a position of power, deal with it. And if they're not doing anything to deal with it, go to somebody else. Okay? Go up that higher chain. And I do feel that things are going to be exposed the way they're meant to be. Okay? It's Mercury in retrograde. People will get their retribution if they've been, misbehaving, misconducting themselves at work. It's going to come to light. Okay? The last thing that I want to leave this off with, Sagittarius, is I feel like if you are single, I'm going to do your love reading in a little bit, but this is a really good energy. You have a lot to bring to the table, and you have a very childlike innocence about you. And I feel like between work and everything else that's going on in your life, it would be good for you to start putting yourself out there, interact with more people, and especially carve time for yourself to have a personal, romantic life. Okay. I feel like doing so is just going to clear up, your peace of mind. It's going to be good for your peace of mind. It's going to be good for your emotional health. Okay. I also want to mention as well, this combination here, they're saying some type of mysterious illness. Okay, so mysterious illness basically refers to symptoms, like physical symptoms manifesting in a way that's kind of strange. Okay, so it's like you, for example, might have a really severe sore throat, and then the next day it goes away, and you're just like, what caused that? And then you might have like all of a sudden blur vision. And then the next day it's gone. And I feel like, it's like it comes and goes, and you're not really sure what caused it. And by the time that it went away, you can't really go see the doctor because the symptoms are no longer there. And so I feel for this month, be very careful about, dietary intake. Be careful about the food that you put in your body, making sure that you get more of a regular, like eating at the regular time, eating at the regular time, and being a little bit more mindful of what you're putting in your body, like your diet, your dietary intake, the foods that you're putting in. That's going to be very crucial for you. Okay. So going back to re-examine, your health overall, I feel it's going to be very crucial for this month. Okay. Let me see there. I guess that's going to be it for this reading. And I apologize if it's a little bit, if the information is not as, I guess, robust as last month.